And then, okay, as expected, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayer Leverkusen they just slightly won the German Cup. They just slightly, even with 10 men. You understand? They just celebrated a German double, with their DFB Cup final victory over Kaiserslautern. Right. Welcome once again to Football is a Religion. Bube Simpatium Shlaba right here. Yeah, man. Please, if you're new, please, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please, man. Please. You understand? Let's get it. Let's get straight into business, man. Okay. So, how was the game? Well, my rating of the game basically was a 7 out of 10. And, I'll actually give credit to Bayer Leverkusen, for the fact that they were down to 10 men and they were still able to hold on to that 1-goal lead and actually clinched a domestic double. Has to actually be commended. And actually what happened in Dublin, they put it behind them and they actually had to focus on what happens in Berlin, the capital city of Germany. Yeah. So it was actually a superb strike from Granit Xhaka. That just proved to be the difference. As the Bundesliga champions, Bayer Leverkusen edged past Bundesliga 2 side Kaiserslautern to actually make it a German double with victory in the 2023-24 DFB Cup final, right? So, what can I say, man? Kaiserslautern, on the side of Kaiserslautern, they were just like backed by vociferous, right? Following. You understand? In, Berlin, as they went out eager to actually shake off their underdogs tag and spoil Bayer Leverkusen's double dream, right? And Daniel, Haslick, sent a testing drive on the champions goal in the opening minutes. And then Lucas Herdagi, dived so well to actually keep it out. Xabi Alonso's charges, from that point onwards, they soon showed, the kind of quality that took them to an unprecedented, unbeaten Bundesliga season. Right? Though with Jeremy Frimpong, Patrick Schick, as well as Florian Wirtz all threatening, the breakthrough did come, within the 15 minutes on the clock when Xhaka, lashed onto a loose ball to actually dispatch a deadly drive into the top corner from 20 yards out. Basically from over 20 yards out. You understand? The former Arsenal midfielder. What a loss for the Gunners, man. What a loss for the Gunners. Because Xhaka is killing it in the Bundesliga. He's killing it with the Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah. And from that particular moment in time, Leverkusen, they continued to pile the pressure on their Bundesliga 2 opponents. And again, it was Alex Grimaldo, the Spaniard, almost setting up a second for Schick before sending his shot wide. We saw that? Yeah. And that's exactly how the game went, man. Bayer Leverkusen were in complete control of the first half. You understand? Even though they were able to avoid some early scares, from the, Kaiserslautern side. But, Bayer Leverkusen, I was very impressed by the fact that they were able to settle very quickly into the game. And just when Leverkusen appeared to actually be breezing towards a victory, the first half had a final twist in store, as Odilon Castanou was shown a second yellow card for a foul on Boris Tomiak. You understand? And then Tobias Rachel then drove wide when he could have actually leveled in the first half of stoppage time. Remember, Castanou, he's not a guy who's actually he's not a stranger to red cards. Remember in the African Cup of Nations, when Cote d'Ivoire did, go on to clinch the African Cup of Nations this year in Cote d'Ivoire. You understand? Remember, he did get that red card in the first half against Mali. And it was basically around the same time. What's actually ironic is that it was around the same time of the first half, against Mali, and it was a second yellow card. And it's funny that Cote d'Ivoire won by a single goal. Even in this one, he got a red card at the similar time of the first half for Bayer Leverkusen in the German Cup final, and then he was sent off, but Bayer Leverkusen was still able to hold on to that 1-goal advantage and actually win, the German Cup. So Castanou is a wonderful defender. He's a solid defender, tall, strong, physical, aggressive, you understand, and he's the type of person who makes those interceptions which actually lead to, the team being able to be effective up front and as well as in the middle of the park. So, it was a big loss to Bayer Leverkusen, but, they did so well. Credit goes to them for being able to hold on to that 1-goal advantage. You understand? So, yeah, Castanou is not stranger to red cards. He's like, I'm likening him to Sergio Ramos. You understand? I'm likening him to Sergio Ramos. But yeah, when you look at the second stanza, the second 45 minutes, it was like a trio of, halftime substitutes, were in the thick of things after the restart. We saw Amin Adli, hit the first effort of the second period before Josip, Stanisic headed narrowly wide from a corner. Leverkusen, from that particular moment in time, they appeared to be back in control of proceedings. But Kaiserslautern substitute, Ragnar Ashe, flashed an effort wide before having a shot saved. Those were scary moments for Leverkusen, man. Those were scary moments for Leverkusen. And then again, we saw, Puchas, also fired wide before Frimpong brought the ball into a threatening position. And then Adli steered a shot narrowing off the target in a relatively open and even final phase. It's so crazy that Leverkusen with the man short, the game was still even in the second half. You would say that Leverkusen are not playing with 10 men. That takes a lot of character. That takes a lot of character to play like that. But of course, they're playing against a lowly ranked, side, an underdog. So obviously, that was the whole, that was the difference. That proved to be the difference, right? Unfortunately for Kaiserslautern, they were unable to actually capitalize on that one-man advantage. And despite not gaining the kind of dominance on the night that was expected, Leverkusen, they took their lead over the line to send their fans wild, with a second DFB Cup in the club's history. And basically, that's their first domestic double, in their history. And again, what's actually interesting to mention, is that Leverkusen finished the 2023-2024 unbeaten in domestic competition across 34 Bundesliga as well as 6 DFB Cup games. And then Alonso, he's the third man after Niko Kovac, as well as Hansi Flick, to win a Bundesliga and DFB Cup double as a player and a coach. Remember, he did it when he was at Bayern Munich. You understand? So Xabi Alonso, man, he's a man of silverware. He's the man of, collecting those trophies, collecting those accolades. Leverkusen, on the other hand, they also won the 1992-93 DFB Cup before finishing up as runners-up in 2001, 2002, as well as in 2008 and 2009. And not so long ago in 2019-2020. So they have become the only 6th club to win the domestic double in Germany. And then Granit Xhaka's strike was his first ever in the DFB Cup. Oh, what a way to actually make that happen, score the winning goal in the final. What an occasion. I guess the Swiss man, he chose the perfect occasion to actually do that, to score his first domestic cup goal for Bayer Leverkusen in this particular competition. And in the final, it was the winning goal. It proved to be so pivotal. Hey man, the Swiss man, we know him from his days at Arsenal. Wow, even at his days at Borussia Mönchengladbach, he used to hit them. Even at Switzerland, he hits them with so much power, with so much venom, that even no goalkeeper would even stand a chance. You would even wonder if even would two goalkeepers even stand a chance of saving it? No ways. I heavily doubt. You understand? And furthermore, Adlis finishes the season's DFB Cup as a top goal scorer with 5 goals. And the match was Friedhelm Funkel's last as Kaiserslautern's coach after taking over in February. You understand? So no fairy tale farewell for him, unfortunately, right? As Bayer Leverkusen, congrats to them for claiming the cup and the league double. Congrats, man.